Yeah, check him out. There we go. Now you're on the catwalk showing the goods. Wow, that's pretty. Geez, that's a looker. Hey everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. I have a couple really cool fish to show you today, so settle back. Let's show you some new fish that we have here. Okay, here's some of the Yellowtail Spiny Eels. I've got some food here, so I can coax them out. Let me got some bloodworms here. Alright, this will get them excited about life. So we'll just hang here and watch them real quick. Oh, now they're all starting to come out. Okay, I'm just gonna hang out here. The smallest one I would say is about 4 inches. The largest one is a big lady. And I say that because the ladies get bigger than the males. And she's about 7 inches and super thick. So the nice thing about these is they're not going to bust your tank, right? At 7 inches, these will do well in most tanks. And they already fed earlier today, or they would all be out like really excited. Except I think the camera might be freaking them out a bit. They're getting a lot more mellow though. It used to be that I would never see them. Now when I feed them, they all come out. And also, even when I'm not feeding them, they won't rush away. They'll be out exploring, and I'll walk by and they'll kind of hang out for a couple minutes and then kind of slowly swim off. Where it used to be, they would just rush away. So they're getting socialized. They're just super fun. These are also called the barred spiny eel. Let's see if we can get in there. I can get my viewfinder so I can see if I'm showing what I'm showing you. There we go. But really cool small eel. And I mean, they do have yellow on the tail, so yellowtail eel is not misleading, but it's not bright yellow. It's like a light lemon yellow. But there they are. Really peaceful fish. They haven't shown any aggression to each other, and I haven't kept them with any other species, but from my reading, it does not seem like they're going to eat or bother any fish which won't, fit in their mouth. If they can swallow it, then it's just food like any other fish, but they're not going to actively go out and search and destroy, similarly sized fish. They'll get along nice. I think these would be a great companion for something like elephant nose or something like that. Kind of all mellow. Anyway, let's put their lid back on because eels are escape artists. You never leave an eel's lid uncovered. That'd be a bad move. These are the black striped dwarf cichlid. Also, the scientific name is tiny Acara Candidi. Absolutely delightful little fish. Small little dwarf cichlid, very similar to a pistos. These are only about 1 inch. They're just starting to get a little bit of color on them, but they're going to grow about 2.5 inches full size. So they've got some growing to do. These guys are learning to eat flakes and pellets right now, but mostly they want frozen foods. Oh, well, they like live foods too, but frozen bloodworms, baby brine shrimp, frozen brine shrimp, that kind of thing, as they're transitioning. So I would not get these unless you do have some frozen foods available, but those are easy to find. So that's number 1. Up here we have some Peacock Gudgeons. Now Peacock Gudgeons have been difficult to find lately and have about gone up, let's see here, at least 3x in price on the supply side, and I'm not exaggerating that, guys. They've gone up way high in price. So they're going to be a little more expensive. We've kept the price down as much as we can. I used to be able to sell them for I think $12.99. Now they're going for something like $18.99. These guys are about 1 inch. A little bit of color, not a lot of color yet, but even at 1 inch, you can see some color coming in. But they've got a lot of development to do. once they become adults, they'll be absolutely stunning. I mean, Peacock Gudgeons are aptly named. They're one of the most beautiful fish out there. Here's the Dwarf anchor catfish tank. At the end of the video, I'll get a light on there and show you those. So these are the black tiger Dario, a really, really pretty fish. Like the scarlet batis, a cousin to the scarlet batis. I like them both. I was going to say, in my opinion, they're prettier than the scarlet batis, but when I'm looking at a nice scarlet batis, I think they're prettier than these. So, you know, it depends on who I'm looking at the moment, really. Let's see here. Let's try to get, hopefully those are in focus for you. Against the dark tank like this, they don't show as well on camera, but it gets a sanded bottom, they're really nice. But anyway, black tiger Dario doing great, and starting to get some nice color on them. Okay. And I think that was it for this row. Let's show you this next row over here. What do we have? So, we have another tank of tiny Acara Candidi, the dwarf black striped cichlid. So we've got 2 tanks of these, and they're doing fantastic. No complaints about these guys. Now, the literature says that they're very aggressive with each other. I haven't seen that. Maybe it's because we have all this Java moss and these pipes and stuff in here, but everyone's getting along splendidly. Maybe it's because there's, you know, a group in here. I think we've got 15 of them in here. I mean, there's a little chasing, maybe, but I haven't seen any damage. So, maybe they get more aggressive as they grow. I'm really not sure. This is my first time with this fish. Oh, look at this guy. Woo, you posing all pretty for us? Let's see, will he turn to the side, maybe? They're gonna get a nice elongated plume tail. Spade tail. I always get those confused. But yeah, check him out. There we go. Now you're on the catwalk showing the goods. Wow, that's pretty. Geez, that's a looker. That might be the most colorful one we have so far. But again, they're only an inch. They're going to get 2.5 inches. So I expect quite a bit more color in fin development as they age. We did get some Manicapara redback angelfish in. They won't be showing any red yet. That'll come with maturity. And we're not going to send you any of the ones with the funky ventral fins. A lot of these came with funky ventral fins, and so don't worry, we won't send you those. Down here, I think my favorite rice fish because they absolutely glow. This is the Miyuki white rice fish. It's a Medaka, one of the Japanese rice fish. And what I love about them is that bright neon stripe that they get on their dorsal surface. I mean, it's so bright. And it's not a lie. Like, you'll see pictures and be like, there's no way. But yeah, they really are a super bright neon up the back. And they look good from the side too. So, probably my favorite of the Medaka rice fish so far. The lemais are nice. Everyone likes the lemais, but from across the room, these will grab your attention. The lemais, you kind of have to get up close before you really see how pretty they are. Oh, these are not new. That's a group of Aspadorus ramundi down there. But what I wanted to show you is every species of Aspadorus we have is spawning. If you look in that tube, see the egg mass on the side to the left? Right there. That egg mass, right there. We'll go in now. That is their eggs, and they're spawning constantly. I'll show you a few more species too. Every species that we have has just been spawning constantly. So if you like little catfish cories and stuff, you'll love Aspadorus, and apparently they're the easiest fish in the world to spawn. Just get you a sponge filter, and they'll always lay in that pipe. Oh, there's some on the airline as well. See those eggs on the airline? They just dig down, they swim down right into the current, and that's where they lay their eggs. Super easy. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see them, but we have some pipefish up here. Let's see if we get lucky. They're there. I don't know how well we're gonna be able to see them. Let's see if I down the ISO. Will they brighten up? Anyway, there's some pipefish in there. We only have a couple. I think we have 4. And right now they're just hanging out there. Sometimes I can get, on Instagram, I think there's a little video of them on the hunt. But right now they're just hanging out behind the filters. So not much to see there, so we'll continue on. These are not ready yet, but here's some amazing pencil fish. Those need a couple more weeks. We just got them recently, but they're doing fantastic so far. So hopefully all goes well. I shouldn't show them because then I get in trouble. But if I show them before they're ready, but I can't help it. Look at them. Whew. Smoking hot. Anyway, below them, these are the peach rice fish. Now, full disclosure. These were sold to us as orange rice fish, but I am not comfortable selling these as orange rice fish because if you buy an orange rice fish, you're going to expect a fish that is bright orange, which these are not. These are a peach color, so I'm selling them as a peach rice fish because I just feel like that's more honest. We have one in here, I call him Zig. Look at that guy, Zigzag, with his spine. That is the worst bent spine I have ever seen. But that's the only one in the batch. Everyone else seems to be in good shape. And if you look, you will see quite a few eggs. Here's one with some eggs on her. Hanging off her. That's how they do it. The female holds the eggs under her vent like a cluster of grapes, and eventually they'll rub them off on these plants. And that's how you get baby rice fish. We're learning about the birds and the bees and the fishes today. Oh man, 2 of these were displaying. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Sorry, I was looking at these guys above them. There was one that was in full display, and he stole my attention because he was absolutely gorgeous. Okay, moving on. Pseudomilga gertrude, the spotted blue eye. Great little blue eye, very pretty, gets nice extensions on the fins, displays all the time, very active, just a great little blue-eyed rainbow fish. And these are big. These are around an inch. This is a nanofish, so an inch is good size for them. And it's easy to tell the sexes at this size, so if you want pairs, just let us know. I can get you a pair without any problem. And if you just want a nice group, we'll get you, a mix. But so you're trying to get you the best focus so you can kind of see their colors and things. But that's a top tank. It's really high, so it's hard for me to keep my arms extended this long. Whew. I must be out of shape. Oh, these are the Frederici, Melanotania Frederici from Kauai. Look at them. Like they are getting, what you want on Frederici are these nice bold black patterns. Check this one out right there. Like that is classic Frederici right there. So these are finally coming into their own and starting to get some color. And about 2.5 inches, I would say. And they're going to get bigger and get even prettier as they grow. So handsome fish there. Okay, moving on though. Let's see, I've got some more stuff here. What I'm looking for is these green stickers. There's one. The new fish, I put a green sticker on so that I know they're new. These are the blue neon rasboras, blue axolrodi rasboras, Pseudodanio axolrodi. And these came in perfect shape. We haven't lost a single one, I don't think. They did not have any pinched bellies or anything, which This species usually comes in bad shape and takes weeks for me to nurse back to health. So it was such a pleasure and relief to get a batch that was just in good shape. You know, we took care of him and everything, but we didn't have to do anything crazy or nurse him back from the pinch belly stage. They came in nice and fat, and they're still nice and fat. Best batch I've ever seen of this species. No exaggeration. They're doing fantastic. Okay. I think that's it for up here in the fish annex. Let's go downstairs and I'll show you the rest of the fish. Some really cool stuff down there. We have a Sumo Loach that's amazing. So we'll start there. And then we'll come back up and show you the Dwarf anchor cats. We'll get a light on there. So, all right, be right back. Okay, I'm very excited about these. These are type 2 Sumo Loaches. They have this nice orange, pink, red band in the middle, contrasted by that neat mid-body pattern. And these guys are not shy at all. They're a nice outgoing loach. Look at this, right? Here's my hand, right in front of the tank. I'm right here. They don't care. They're not upset. In fact, they're like, "Oh, you're feeding us?" So I don't know if you kept them with just like, you know, 1 or 2 or whatever, if they would be this outgoing. I don't know if this is a function of being in a big group. Oftentimes I find fish kept in big groups have completely different behavior than when they're kept in small groups or singly. But here in this type of situation, these are an absolutely amazing fish. They're outgoing, super active, and look at the colors on these guys. Like, check that out. That guy's posing for us, so let's take advantage. Oh, they're just so pretty. And these eat everything. They'll eat flakes, they'll eat pellets, they'll eat wafers, frozen food, live food. Not a picky fish, not a difficult fish. The one thing you'll notice, though, is they are super active. So, you know, if you have really shy, sedate fish, that might be an issue. But besides that, I think that they're going to be an amazing addition to almost any peaceful community aquarium. Top size on these that I've read is about 3 inches. I've never seen them over like 2. But, you know, the literature says 3, so we'll go with that. Above them, look at these pea puffers. Fat and sassy. Just cute as a button. And great batch. You know, every batch of puffers needs a little TLC, but these came in pretty darn good shape. They did not need a ton of help. They're going through their medications, but they're pretty much done. I think they'll get their last round today and should be ready to ship out starting Monday without any problems. But you can see the good weight on them. Pea puffers are another one that often come in such bad shape that they take weeks, sometimes months, to get healthy enough for the customer. But these came in really good shape. So we've got a good batch. They're eating baby brine shrimp, frozen bloodworms, and scuds, stuff like that. Frozen and live meaty foods is what they're going to want. We might as well show an update of this. So these are the Amazon puffers. These are still not ready. They've been through their Metro and Prosi treatments. They've had their first flubendazole treatment. They'll get their second one today, but they've got some more of that to do. And then they still need to go through their levamisole treatments. So we've got a little more time, but check them out. Like for those that saw them in the previous tour, you'll see the weight gain. They've gained quite a bit of weight. Now there's still 1 or 2 you'll see in here that are still skinny, kind of the runts of the batch. They're just going to take a lot more time. Some of these won't be ready to sell for like 3 months, but a lot of them are. I want to get them through their full deworming procedure, but a lot of these I can tell are ready to go. But we're going to go through the full procedure anyway, just because with puffers, we want to make sure we really clean them out. But they're doing fantastic. Oh, they're so fun. And by the way, these will eat anything. They'll eat frozen foods, they'll eat live foods, but they also eat Vibrobites. They'll eat carnivore pellets. They'll eat Massivore Delight pellets. They will eat Rapashi. In fact, we use Rapashi with oyster shell in it to keep their teeth trimmed down. That and the snails. See all the snails down there? And, you know, we have a video on that if you're wondering how to keep your puffer's teeth trimmed, even though you don't have access to a bunch of snails or shellfish. We have a video on that on the channel, and we'll probably be making another video with these guys showing how to do that. Now, over here, I keep saying best batch, but it's not an exaggeration in some of these cases. We really did get the best batch I've ever seen. This is one of those cases. These are Aspadorus brigitae, the chili rasbora or mosquito rasbora, just depends on who you're asking. And these came in fat and sassy. Almost every batch of Aspadorus, whichever species, all the species of Aspadorus that I get, come in skinny, and I have to do a lot of work to get them fat and acclimated and ready for customers. But these came in already looking good. So there's more down here. Let's see. There's not as much light down there, so they're probably not going to look as good. So we'll look at the group up top. But yeah, and these are eating everything too. They like baby brine shrimp a lot, but I'll drop a big Hikari Massivore Delight pellet in there, and they'll spend hours eating that. They'll eat flakes. They'll eat extreme foods. They're not picky. Doing great, which is such a relief. I expected to have to work on these for about 6 weeks before I could sell them, but that wasn't the case. Only a couple weeks, and they're ready to go. So, a couple great batches of fish the last few weeks, which has been a relief, because I don't mind nursing fish back to health, but it's always better for the fish, when they arrive in good health to begin with. So, all right, let's go down another row here. I might as well show you the rest of them. So, more Amazon puffers. And by the way, guys, these, again, are going to still be a couple weeks before they're ready. And when they are ready, they're not going to be cheap. We take a lot of time with our puffers to medicate them and care for them and get them ready. So we're going to be more expensive than everyone else, but I guarantee you they're going to live and thrive for you because of that care. So I think it's worth it. Here's the last tank of them. So in an Amazon puffer, what you want is that. A nice big belly that's also smooth. You don't want it hugely lumpy. This guy is not what you want. See how he doesn't have a belly? But he's gained a lot of weight since we first got him. So he's on his way. It's just going to take a little more time. But a lot of these look pretty good. Some of them need quite a bit more work though. All right, let's see, was that it down here? I thought there was more fish down this. Oh yeah, I want to show you these. Here's a group of marbled hatchets. Aren't they darling? I think they're awesome. Mandy always says they make her hungry because they remind her of a marble coffee cake. Anyway, they just look good, so I wanted to show them. Okay, one more row, and we'll be done. Oh, I forgot to show you the Aspadorus that were spawning upstairs. I showed you one species, but there's another one up there, so maybe we'll have to show you that. But in the meantime, here's a species of Aspadorus. The ones upstairs were the Raymundi. These are the Spilotus. Cool little catfish, and look at all these eggs in that tube. Like I counted them, there were at least 45 in there. And this is the third spawn this week. And these guys are just being super prolific. We call it the hippie commune because they're breeding all the time. Check those out. So, again, like a Cory, but more active. They're close relations to Cory's, just maybe a little more active. Okay, I think, is that it? Let me make sure I'm not missing anyone. I think I got them all, so let's go upstairs. We'll show you that other species of Aspadorus that's breeding, and we'll show you the dwarf anchor catfish. And yeah, that should be that. Before we go up to the annex again, I forgot to show you these. These are a nice group of true Siamese algae eaters, the best darn algae eater around. They'll eat hair algae, they'll eat blackbeard algae. They just like all the algae. Now, they won't eat free floating algae, like suspended in the water column, like green water. They can't do that if it's just tiny little microalgae floating in the water column. And green spot algae is so tough that they'll eat it down, but they can't clear it completely. But other types of algae, they will absolutely devour, especially in nooks and crannies and things. If you have plants, they'll eat it off your plants. If you have a lot of hardscape, they'll eat all the little nooks and crannies. They're not as good as clearing like a big glass pane on the front of your aquarium. For that, you want maybe a bushy nose or an autosynclus. But they're great for all the nooks and crannies. So true Siamese algae eaters, these guys are about an inch, inch and a quarter, maybe an inch and a half on the biggest ones. And the batch looks fantastic. And here's another batch of fish I forgot to show you. There's so many, I'm bad at my job. These are the platinum half-beaks. We're going to give them a little more time. They're doing really well, though. This is another one that came in fat and sassy. But half-beaks I like to take extra time with. Just because they're such a slender fish to begin with that I want to make sure they get a little extra fat on them before I ship them, even though they came in good shape. And those white bodies you see on the ground, those are not bodies. Those are sheds from cherry shrimp. So don't worry about that. That's not dead fish or anything. But the platinum half-beak, just like a miniature platinum alligator gar. Great little fish. All right, let's go. Now we really are going to go, he said, up to the annex to look at the rest of the fish up there. Speaking of half-beaks, I forgot that up here we have a tank of wrestling half-beaks. And they're doing fantastic. Again, these came in good shape. Like the last couple weeks, the orders have been coming in fantastic condition, which is such a relief. So these are like the platinum half-beaks, but not the platinum color morph. They're doing awesome. In fact, we found some babies in here today. Now, in our half-beak tanks, we like to have some floating cover. They appreciate that. And on the bottom, we like to have some kind of scavenger. In this case, it's cherry shrimp. You can use Corydoras, you can use all kinds of things. But during quarantine, we don't want to mix the fish. So right now, they're with the cherry shrimp. And that way, if any food gets past them... Why are you not in focus? It's focusing on the plant, isn't it? If any food gets past them and falls to the bottom, it doesn't sit there and rot, because these guys really want to feed at the surface. These little scavengers will help make sure that no uneaten food sits there and rots on you. Let's see if we can get in there and get a good close shot. There we go. I think they're in focus. I hope they're in focus. Please be in focus. Okay. Then I promise you, look at these dwarf anchor catfish. They're amazing. They're super camouflaged. So we're going to do our best here. Okay, ready? Here we go. There they are. Cute little tiny dwarf catfish. These guys right now really prefer frozen foods. We're getting them on Vibrobites and stuff, but they want frozen bloodworms and brine shrimp and meaty stuff like that. You wouldn't know it, but there are a ton in here. Like if you look in those plants, you'll see just a ton of them. Under that driftwood, there's a whole bunch of them. And can I get down? Can you see how fat their bellies are? These guys eat a ton. Fat fish make me happy. What can I say? I like big fish, and I cannot lie. Look at the belly on those guys. Anyway, really cool, really unique, small, dwarf, peaceful nano catfish. The dwarf anchor catfish. Can you even see them in the plants? See how well they camouflage in there? Anyways. It's like, you think it's a lump of Java moss, and it is, but it's also a lump of catfish. There's a ton of them in there. Okay, last tank will be another species of Aspadorus that is spawning. They're all spawning. This is Aspadorus Pocillus, and if you see in there, at the top of that pipe, you'll see the eggs. They didn't get in as far. The tube might be in the way on this one, but they laid a bunch of eggs on the top there. So that's Aspadorus Pocillus, which is this guy right here. Hopefully he's in focus. There's a whole group of them in that mop. The camera kind of scared them, but this guy did not get the memo and continued to hang out, thankfully for us, so we get to see him. All right, there you have it. So those are the new fish. I did not think I'd be doing another tour in here, but we're still waiting for the micro bubbler to get installed at the new fish warehouse. We can't get all the fish over there till that's installed and ready to go. So yeah, just waiting to move over. Anyway, hope you had a good one. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you. Oh, I should tell you, we do a live stream every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 Eastern, where we tell you about what's going on here at dansfish.com, and where you can ask questions or leave comments, and we can just geek out and discuss aquariums and aquarium fish, which is super fun. So if you want to join us live, be one of those super fish geeks, then that's where we'll be, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.